y'all, welcome back to Babeinlibrary. It's your girl Lisa, and today we're going to discuss Tia Williams' The Perfect Find. Alright, so The Perfect Find is a recent book to film adaptation that Netflix has decided to pick up. So I figured what better way to enjoy this book than reading it and then comparing it against Netflix release. So that's what we'll be doing. This vlog is going to consist of me reading this book any and everywhere, and then comparing it to Gabrielle Union and portrayal of Jenna Jones. So The Perfect Find is a book about Jenna Jones, the female main character. She has recently broken up with her boyfriend after 20 plus years being with him. Now she's trying to start over in New York City, find her way back to the working world, and find her way back to love. So she goes out and decides to beg her nemesis, Darcy, to see, hey, I need a job. You've got a fashion magazine that I would like to join and be a part of. Would you give me a chance? Now, Darcy decides, okay, I'll take this risk and give you a job opportunity, but you will need to work with a new videographer. And that videographer turns out to be her son, Eric. Now, before she is introduced to Eric by Darcy, she goes out on a night with the town with her best friend, Elodie. At Elodie's party, she actually runs across Eric, and in their inebriated state, they have a hot, passionate makeout session. So that's all she can think about is this young man until he pops up in her office and she realizes the guy from the party is the same person that she'll be working with on this project, who is her boss's son. And from there, it just turns into chaos as they try to deny their feelings and work together to be professional. They tend to have a little bit of a banter relationship that really is simmering their desire for one another. So this book right here is what is going to seal the deal as to whether or not Tia Williams is an author for me. All right, everyone. So I have finally finished The Perfect Find, and I've definitely got thoughts. But before I get into this, I want to say that I want to first talk about Tia Williams and what she did and who she is as a writer from my perspective. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is Tia Williams has a talent for writing toxic ass people in realistic situations. If I wasn't convinced by 7 Days in June, like, The Perfect Find definitely lets me know Tia's gift is bringing the emotions out of you. Love it, hate it, you're going to have an opinion and you're going to scream that opinion loudly. What I'll say is, if I had read this first, I don't necessarily know if I would have picked up this. Now, I read this one probably last year or the year beforehand, and I think this one was like a 4.5 star rating if it wasn't a 5. Like, I devoured this book, absolutely loved it, adored it. Going into this year, I was like, okay, The Perfect Find, age gap romance. You've got a older woman. This is, really getting into the fashion industry, getting in the film industry. It is going to be a great time. They're making a Netflix movie out of it. I was like, this is a 5-star read. Spoiler alert, for me, this is not a 5-star read. Have you ever had a situation where you had to do a pro and con list? Like, you are deciding whether or not you're going to break up with your boyfriend. He's got some great pros, but the cons are really what's been getting on your nerve this entire time. And you're like, do I dump him? Should I stick it out? That's how I feel about this book. Never in this book did I feel like, oh, I'm going to DNF this. That's not the case. This is a purely consumable read that is going to have you hooked. Now, it did take me 2 weekends to read this. Now, this is a reading vlog. I just didn't tell y'all which weekend it was going to get done. I didn't say it was going to be done in one weekend. I just said it was a weekend reading vlog. I took a little bit of break from this because I was distracted. But when I came back the second time, I was all in. You're going to be able to see from these clips, like at the pool, reading, at the bowling alley, reading, like reading wherever I go. The Perfect Find was with me. Don't get me mistaken. I at no point thought about DNF in this book. That wasn't even a snowball's chance in hell that was going to happen. However, I had vivid emotions while reading this. So, pros of this book that we'll talk about. Eric Combs is probably your top #1 pro that I'm ever going to give you. He is a 23-year-old that, if I'm Jenna in this situation, I'm definitely caught up. Like, I'm definitely falling for this young man, and I am a full 34 in a couple of days. Like, I'll be 34 in quite, like, less than 10 days. And so, I see how we got here. Second pro is Elodie. Elodie is that girl. Like, she is a chaotic mess, but she's my chaotic queen. Like, if I needed to adopt someone else to be in my friend group, I need me an Elodie. This book right here, funny as hell. Like, I am giggling, laughing, cackling. You're going to see in the videos, if you haven't seen already, like, I'm laughing out loud. There are so many pop culture references. If you are a millennial, you resonate with this book, right? Like, you have an understanding of the vibes of the culture. You have you have an understanding of the experience. You are fully vested and you're walking the streets of New York with these characters. And so this right here really, again, puts you in the mind frame and gets you to where you're living out Jenna's dreams and you're trying to figure out what's going to happen. Now, cons in this book. Anybody other than Billy, Elodie, and Eric? Terrible. Trash. Throw them away. Darcy, who is Eric's mother, she is delusional. She is narcissistic. She is a trash mother. But she is also a boss. Like, this, the writing in this, where I was like, the audacity, I'm angered, I am triggered. But in the same token, I was like, Darcy, you wrong as two left shoes, but I get it and I understand. And to some degree, if I sit back and listen to the words that you're saying, after I done tore you down to shreds, I'm like, but she right though. Like, Darcy was that character, like, in one part of your mind, you really disliked her, and the other part, you was like, but does she have a point? Is she the villain? Or did circumstances harden her to where she is the way that she is? Like most villains, you never get their backstory. You just automatically are told that you hate them. And then when you hear their backstory, you're like, I understand how we got here. You wrong, but you also right. So that's how I feel about Darcy. Jenna, who is the female main character, mind you, she irks me to no end. Is that main character that you like, girl, you doing too much. You are really bothering me and you bothering this man, and I don't think it's called for. Like, she's asking him questions in the most inopportune time. She's running this race, and that don't even get to the end, like the end of the book. I wanted to throw it across the room. Like, how dare you see it? Like, the ending of this book, like, I heard some people were like, oh, I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the ending. I just thought it was like, before I went into it, I was like, oh, maybe it's a rush ending. Nah. Sis violated the code. Like, you're not going to agree with her. Yes, Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. Just know the ending was very uncalled for, and there was a way in which I'm not gonna say I understood why she did what she did. I'm not gonna say it. I hate to say it. Let me sit here and review my notes so I can get some cohesive thoughts. Knowing that I'm going to go watch the movie, and if I'm already feeling like this is a 3-star, I heard, I don't necessarily care for Jenna. It is what it is. But I hear that Gabrielle Union's portrayal of her in the movie is abysmal. So not only am I going to watch a movie where I don't like the character, you're going to tell me that I'm going to watch a movie where I don't like the character and the portrayal of said character is bad? Woo! Get ready for a rant, guys. I'm 51 minutes into the movie and I'm really struggling, guys. First and foremost, never read the source material before watching a movie because you'll always be disappointed. And I knew that going in. I knew that people had issues with this. But I was like, okay, I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful. It's going to work out. It's not working out, guys. I still have 48 minutes to go and I don't have nearly enough alcohol for me to reasonably enjoy this movie. And I think I'm struggling for a number of reasons. One, everyone else's issue is that they don't feel like Gabrielle Union is portraying Jenna Jones right. It's not my issue. Personally, y'all know how I feel about Jenna Jones at this point. But I can believe that Gabrielle Union and Justin Powers are doing the best that they can given the script that they've been handed, which has been completely butchered. Now, I know you can't portray a movie just like you read a book simply because a lot of it that we're getting in the book is inner monologue and the backstory told in a different way. So the writers of the script had to do something creative, but it wasn't creative enough for me. Like, I am struggling. I knew we were going to be way off base when we started the movie, and Jenna is in her parents' house, and her parents kicked her out, which made her kind of get her shit together. That never happened. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know that Jenna had parents that were still involved in her life. Like, that is news to me. On top of the fact, like, I really, some of my favorite characters don't get enough screen time. Elodie should have so much more screen time than what she has. Billy should have a husband and a child. We should see the husband and said child in the movie. Darcy? That's not Darcy. I don't know. Gina Torres looks great. She's fly as hell. Like, she looks fantastic. I appreciate it. That's not Darcy. Granted, I knew that Gina Torres is a tall woman, right? And I'm not even going on the stature. We know that Darcy in the book is a short, petite woman that is a powerhouse. The problem for me is that Darcy is not giving powerhouse. Like, Darcy in the book is a menace. Like, she is Satan's mistress in the book. And I come to appreciate that. This woman here loves and adore Eric. She sees him as her little walking baby. She's not giving Jenna any grief. She is barely scratching the surface of, like, there's been a little bit of tension. That's not Darcy. That's not what I came here to see. I came to see Jenna Jones get spit up and shoot out by Darcy, and I'm not getting that. And it's really making me mad. I'm going to go ahead and get a refill. I'm going to push through the last 48 minutes of this movie, and I'm going to come back and we're going to have a further in-depth chat. So I'll see y'all soon. I really need to know who wrote this script. Somebody, please tell me who wrote the script, because we need to have a conversation. Never in my wildest dreams did I feel like that they was going to do this. It's not gunshots, them are fireworks. It's the 4th of July. Let me tell you this right now. I absolutely hated the end of the Perfect Fine. Like, I hated it. But I would take that over this, because what you're not going to do is sit here and play in my face and tell me that Eric had that visceral reaction and that he decided that he was going to have a complete personality change and he wasn't going to be totally head over heels for Jenna. Like, that's what you're not going to do. You're not going to play in my face and tell me that this is what y'all decided to propose. This sounds like somebody was like, nah, we're not gonna let Gabrielle Union go out like that.
even if this is how the book is written. Y'all got me messed up. I'm ready to fight. Like, y'all gonna make me turn this 3-star book into a 4-star book just because I appreciate it that much more. Like, y'all are going to make me change my entire rating of this book because it does not deserve the injustice that it is seeing on Netflix. I can't with y'all. This is ridiculous. Tell me I'm not alone. Somebody put it in the chat if you felt this exact way, because at this point, I am not watching The Perfect Fine. I'm watching someone else's fan fiction of the book. That's what I'm watching.
This is, while it has some of the things that really truly irk me, specifically the ending, specifically the character Jenna, it also made me think and really see the various dynamics that are at play. Fortunately, I'm like hemming and hawing. I'm pretty much sure I'm going to give it a 3-star. Because it is like in the middle of the road for me. Like, some things I truly love, some things maybe I could have lived without.